Psalm 2, verse 2 and 3, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let's tear off the shackles they've put on us. Now, as I hinted at before, I suggest this is another glimpse into the counsel of the rebel gods. The word for rulers is used at times for the powers of darkness, famously in Ephesians 6. Our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers of darkness, and so forth. Paul goes on giving the hierarchy there of the rebel spirit realm. So in Psalm 2, we see the human kings and the divine rebel rulers conspire together against Yahweh, and they both get judged for it. The high ones on high and the kings on the earth is another way to say this, and that's how Isaiah phrases it in chapter 24, verse 21. And I'm actually going to read this verse in 3 different translations because they each bring it out a little bit differently. So first I'm going to read it out of the King James. Again, it's Isaiah 24:21. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day. Oh, and before I do read this, I'm just going to say that all 3 of these translations use the capital L-O-R-D to translate Yahweh. So when that comes up in the verse, I'm going to read Yahweh into the verse. So I'm going to do that for all 3. So the King James, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Okay? Next, I'm going to read it out of the CSB, the Christian Standard Bible. On that day, Yahweh will punish the army of the heights in the heights, and the kings of the ground on the ground. And finally, the NLT, New Living Translation, the NLT. In that day, Yahweh will punish the gods in the heavens and the proud rulers of the nations on earth. Now, sometimes the NLT will deliver some gold. A lot of times it's not very good in my opinion, but sometimes it's gold. And here's one of those times. In that day, Yahweh will punish the gods in the heavens. They know what's being talked about here. And according to the net scholars, this host of the heights, or the high ones, so the King James and the CSB are both do a pretty good job of literally translating the Hebrew and making it make sense. The King James has the host of the high ones on high, and the CSB has the army of the heights. So literally those are both pretty close to the Hebrew. But this host of the heights, as the CSB says, or the high ones, as the King James translates it, or the gods, as the NLT translates it, this group of beings refers to those who populate the divine or the heavenly assembly. And that's according to the scholars of the net, the NET. So Isaiah is communicating the same idea that rebel gods and rebel humans will both be judged on the day of Yahweh.